The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. If you enjoy our work, please like, comment, subscribe, and follow the links in the description. Thanks for your support, and enjoy.
Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucci, joined, as always, by my know-nothing nincompoop of a boob the boy.
Hey!
Well, it's relevant to today's topic. This is where I do a great segue, but God, we don't do those in this show. So,
No.
there was like a couple things we could have talked about this week. We were penciling in Pokemon, but none of us have gotten more than halfway.
What we understand is the good point yet.
Yeah, it's already good. Like, we're all enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
But then I guess later shit gets real. So we want to get to that point before we talk about the game at all on a podcast. And there's been other shit we've done. Like we did the 15 games of Heroes of the Storm for the free Overwatch skin.
Yeah, that happened.
And God, that took maybe 3 hours. And I have...
All told maybe 4.5.
Like, it wasn't...
That was with breaks and food.
Yeah.
Boy, that is... If League is Dota for casuals, then Heroes of the Storm is League for casuals.
Man, I think Heroes of the Storm is the DC game for casuals.
Oh!
There is, I don't feel like anything... Now, we played against AI, but even still, the stakes in that game feel non-existent. I am not worried about winning.
That's probably mostly because we're fighting AI. But
no, it's more that I don't care if we win.
To be fair, I'd have been playing real games and ruining someone's day if we didn't have to win.
Yeah. But, anyhow. So we were going through our options, and we don't want to force 3 wrestling podcasts in a row on you. Otherwise, we'd be talking TakeOver. So!
Instead, we're going to... Well, White's going to talk for a while. I'm going to ask White questions. White's going to answer the questions. Because the questions about a franchise that, if you've listened to the podcast, you know that I know next to dick about.
Well, and I was going to do this video by myself, but, I started to record it, and it was a lot of, and, asking myself the questions and then responding. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Ultimo Dragon, it was bad.
So now, we're going to do, hopefully, a very slightly better version.
God, probably not. Have you listened to our show?
I said very slightly. I'm setting the bar pretty low. We could probably step over it.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not asking anyone to jump here, okay?
And there's no guarantee one of us isn't going to trip. But the franchise in question is Final Fantasy. Boys played 7 and briefly 8.
7 was so long ago that I barely remember it.
And then I think you played all of 10 and then just ran screaming into the night.
Pretty much.
I
played 10 because my brother-in-law had 10, so I played it. And then I didn't play Final Fantasy ever again.
I can't blame you, dude. That's not a good... Whatever. I mean, you know more about it now because I won't shut the fuck up about it. But,
you really genuinely won't. I've asked.
Sorry, man. I dig it. It's like when you keep talking about Harry fucking Potter. And I like Harry Potter.
You know what? No, that ended.
It did. And you know what? I've gone through that period already. And
around about the time of Voldemort's secret daughter, it was...
I'm on the
spoilers for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, by the way. Yeah, it's that stupid.
I'm on the other side of that, though. I'm oh, we've seen the bad. We've been there. Maybe it looks like it might be okay again.
Anyway, back to the thing we're actually trying to make a podcast about. We're gonna do questions. You ready?
Yeah, I found the list on Tumblr. Cactar Queen. She didn't make it originally, and I cut the hell out of it anyway. So
because there was a bunch of questions that you didn't have an answer for, and I didn't care about. So there we go.
Yeah.
Question 1: What is your favorite Final Fantasy game?
When you say it like that, I feel like I'm gonna get a cash reward, and I don't.
I won't rule it out. Depending on your answers.
Can you give me some bottle caps?
You said cash? You did not specify the currency.
Bison dollars. My favorite Final Fantasy game is Final Fantasy VI, as anybody who has been around me for more than a hot minute knows.
Yeah, you literally have the villain of it tattooed on you.
Yes.
In a very large tattoo.
I mean,
Dude, that's pretty fucking big for you know.
I guess most people are like, just give me this little symbol or something like that.
Like
I was
me,
one of those
if I
guys
were to
who
get a
was like,
tattoo, I would be the sis who was like, just give me this little symbol because it's the only thing I want is a tattoo. But like, it's a fucking you have a giant fucking clown on your arm.
he's mad.
He's got weird grabby hands.
Yeah, he's gonna get you.
All right. Fair enough. I assume we'll be getting into more detail on that later, so I'm
no
not
doubt.
going to ask you to elaborate. Next question. What is your least favorite Final Fantasy game? Because this says least favorite game, and I feel like that's misleading because I would say Monopoly because Monopoly is the devil, but I think this is a specifically Final Fantasy list.
It is. Like I said, I edited it down. There was a flow to it, and I didn't care for it. But I actually like Monopoly, so...
Monopoly is the devil?
Yeah.
You will not bring that Satan into this house.
The other Satans that I've brought in, those are fine.
Yes, this particular one is the one I'm taking issue with. This is the lie.
All right. You've picked your hill to die on, and I'm not going to criticize you for that. My least favorite Final Fantasy game, like the one I'm the most upset about, probably 13. It's you know what? It's probably not even that. It's probably not even that because, like, I have input from both sides. You know what I mean? And this is the fucking thing that gets me about the Final Fantasy fandom is that, man, like, there are some people who fucking dig the really bad games, and I mean, they love them.
Yes.
And I'm like, why? Why?
They're not good video games. You know that, right? And they don't.
Or maybe they do, and they're just like, no, I just really like it. And they're like, well, what do you like about it? And they name all the things I hate. And I'm like, what the fuck?
What sort of pod person are you?
But, like, I had it from both sides. You know, some people who were like, yeah, 13's a little slow to start, but about, 20 hours in, 40 hours in, something like that, it gets good.
There's a fucking point of order. If it takes 40 hours for the game to, really cut loose and get started, the game's not good. I'm very confident in that assessment.
Well, and I was willing to, okay?
But then you did.
But then I did, and like,
and you weren't willing to anymore.
I didn't get 40 minutes in, and I'm like, oh, I'm mad. I have to go. I got to the part, like, I did a couple of dungeons, and I got to the point where it was like, now you can allocate your character's talents, and you can level up. And I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe there's a lot of details in level customization system. No, it was a path. There wasn't the amount of complexity that my fucking WoW talents have. The current system.
Damn. That's not a Final Fantasy. I have very limited experience in Final Fantasy games. And that's not a Final Fantasy game.
I mean, like, there are Final Fantasy games where you don't get to pick what you do, but that, combined with the fact that it was so damn linear and it was so fucking weird and whatever, I didn't care for what I got.
Well, we didn't say worst game. We said least favorite, so that's a fair answer.
Yeah.
Question 3: How did you get into Final Fantasy?
I had some upstairs neighbors when I was living in a small town in Ohio that had some NES games, and one of the games they had was Final Fantasy. And they were like 14, 15, and I was 10-ish. And for whatever reason, they were cool with me. We hung out. Like, usually that story does not go that way. Usually the annoying kid who lives downstairs is like a shithead that gets kicked around. But
like,
no.
you're a character in like a sitcom.
Right, yeah.
You're the shitty thing for that episode that they have to deal with.
Right, but and honestly, in most interactions I had, period, that was the case. But these guys were cool, and they showed me a lot of cool NES games. Crystallis and I like tennis, but it's not like it's one of the greats. But Final Fantasy was chief among them, and I was hooked from there. I got it. I traded some kid on the playground for, I forget what I even gave him, but I got the Final Fantasy 1 strategy guide, and I was like, yeah, no, I have the secrets. And the guide was full of all this like great artwork and shit, so I would just like pour over it
and fucking the wagon rolled from there. Shit went off the rails, and you were a Final Fantasy nerd.
Well, yeah, and that's why I got into D&D, actually.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, because my mom saw some stuff at a garage sale that was D&D stuff. And she's like, you like Final Fantasy, and you liked it when Keith picked you up The Hobbit, so here's this. And I'm like, yeah, I dig this.
Here's the next step down the nerd ladder. Here you go.
So you've tried weed. Have you thought about lacing that weed with cocaine? Sure, yeah. What's next? Crack? I'll do that too. Just give me the whole basket.
You've done well so far. Here's some mushrooms.
Yeah, no, that was the trip.
Fair enough. Question 4. Which games have you played?
Most of them.
Let's do a shorter version of this question. Which games in the Final Fantasy series have you not played?
Actually, I don't even know if that's true. So, I've played and beaten 1, but not all in one playthrough. I've barely played 2. It just it never grabs me. I've played the remastered versions. I just can't get into it. I have played 3 up to the final boss, at which point I stopped playing. I don't know why.
Oh, fair enough.
It was one of those things where like, I'll pick this up later. And I never did. The end.
Okay.
I've played and beaten 4 a couple of times. I've played 5 up to the final boss. In the final boss fight with the final form of X-Death. And I don't remember what happened, but my power cut and my save file wiped.
And so you've beaten 5.
I've never seen the ending. I don't know what it's like. I got it on Game Boy Advance, and I got far. I got to the new job classes, and I was so disappointed with how stupid they were that I was like, I have to walk away for a minute, and I never came back.
The end.
Played and beaten 6 upwards of 30 times. Played and beaten 7 a couple of times. I played 8 up to the final dungeon. Got tired of that shit. Borrowed a friend's save file where he was at the final dungeon, but he was a crazy person, so he had done all of the draws and like beaten the card game. And I don't mean like he'd played some rounds and beaten it. No, I mean like he beat the Queen of Cards and had like all the cards.
So he was OP as fuck.
Yeah, so I just took that. I beat the final dungeon and beat the boss, and I was like, yeah, good enough.
I did it.
I played and beat 9 twice. I want to say I played it a little more besides that. Played 10 up to the second version of Sin and was like, you know what? I'm done.
Get off this crazy ride.
Played 10-2 for about an hour.
Made it a whole hour.
I really like their combat system and the dress spheres, but the plot, the script makes me so mad. I never played 11. I love 12, but I still haven't finished it because my PlayStation 2 exists in a quantum state. 13, we discussed. I have played 14, the new one, not the original one that they quickly took off the market and went, we're so fucking sorry. It's fun. It's like WoW though, because I don't want to have to pay for it every month.
Hey, this shit's topical. 15 just came out.
Is it actually out now? I
think it came out today.
Well, how about that shit?
I think literally we are 4 hours past the release of 15.
We accidentally topical. I haven't played 15. I played the demo.
I'm gonna fucking Google that shit.
Yeah, go for it, my man. It looks good. It looks good. It's more of a Dragon Age approach to Final Fantasy, which I'm okay with.
I like that idea. I like that sound.
Well, I like 12, and 12 it's more like the MMO, like 11, but it's not bad. It's just different. I've played Tactics, and I think I got about 3/4 through. I was on the quest to get Cloud, and then I don't know what happened. I played Tactics Advance and beat that. I played Tactics Advance 2, and I think got about halfway through it.
Yeah, literally. Today was its midnight release.
Today, that's awesome. I have played a bit of Final Fantasy IV: The After Years. And I liked that, but I just didn't...
Man, there is so much shit in this stupid video game series.
Well, and you know what? Okay, so those are the ones I played, unless I'm forgetting something weird. And, the Game Boy games. I played Final Fantasy Adventure 1 and 2, but not much.
I have played 7, 10, a small amount of 8, and Dissidia.
Oh, yeah, Dissidia and Dissidia Duodecim. And Brave Exvius, of course. Which I literally have on my phone right now.
Not just have, he's literally playing it right
I'm trying not to. I'm just looking at my little mans on the screen. Every now and then I can poke them and they'll do their moves.
Sure, buddy.
No, look
I
look
believe
go.
you. I believe you.
But like, there's the Chocobo's Mystic Dungeon series. Chocobo, excuse me.
Chocobo.
Old habits die hard.
Delicious milk chocolatey chocobo.
That's, it's what it looks like. And I was young. Who gives a shit? Fuck you.
Look, all right. Would you like some recompense for chocobo?
Yeah, I would like some. Thank you, please.
I am not proud of how long it took me to understand how to pronounce Hermione.
All right.
I didn't need the fourth book where J.K. Rowling told everyone how to pronounce Hermione.
My girlfriend at the time. I forget what I said. It wasn't Hermione.
Which is
Yeah. But it was something else, and my girlfriend at the time who was getting me into the books was like, no, Artard, it's this. Oh, thanks. Now I feel great.
I'm not proud of how long it took me to go, wait, that can't be right. Look it up on the internet. Oh, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's good. That's yes.
Yeah.
I would like. I don't know about 7, but I think I'm gonna lay a little side bet with myself as to your answers to 5 and 6. Okay, I'll tell you if I'm right.
Yeah, I'd love to hear this. Sure.
I'm not going to tell you what they are because that'll spoil the broth.
But afterward, I'd love to know.
Yeah. Just honor system here.
Right. Yeah.
Most underrated Final Fantasy game.
Final Fantasy IX. I'm assuming main series. I'm sure there's some great gems.
Yeah, main series. For most of the questions.
Final Fantasy IX had a departure from the graphics that 8 brought us, and that turned off fucking everybody ever.
Including me.
I didn't want to play as a Saiyan. I don't like Dragon Ball.
I fucking love Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball Z. I even like GT. I can't get into the new series because for some reason it just doesn't click. But I fucking love Dragon Ball, and I didn't want to play as a Saiyan either. That's not what I'm looking for in my Final Fantasy game.
But this is what really bothers the shit out of me about it is if you compare the graphics of 9 to the graphics of 7, 7's look like amateur marshmallow figures.
Look, no one ever. Seven's graphics were bad. I said salmon the first time.
Final Fantasy Salmon.
I just realized that 7's graphics were fucking
circle
awful.
to swim upstream.
Press X to pay respects.
Shit, fuck. Well, no, and they were super deformed. The overworld stuff was all super deformed, and that's all that was going on in 9 is they used that SD art style. But for whatever reason, it was fine in 7. But now that we have textures that we can apply to the models to make them look less shitty, unforgivable.
It was 7 was super deformed, but wasn't cutesy.
No, I mean, it clearly was like a product of its time. It was like, this looks awful. Whereas 9 had more of a fairy tale atmosphere to it.
They were going for an aesthetic.
Yeah, they were. But, I mean, I don't want to say everyone because there are exceptions, but most of the time when I hear people who say... I
didn't play this one of the Final Fantasy. They usually talk about 9.
Yeah, and they will say, and it was because I didn't like the way it looked, and those who play it afterward go, oh my god, this is really good, I was down.
I admit it turned me off.
I mean, it was an issue. What's your next question?
Most overrated Final Fantasy game.
Most overrated Final Fantasy game is Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, really? Would you like to explain that opinion to the entire internet? Go ahead. We'll wait.
I don't know, motherfuckers. Have you been on the internet? So, I like 7. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's definitely in the top half of my favorite Final Fantasies. But, dude, when you want to talk about hack job scripts, and not even just because of Woolsey, the fucking original script split a character into 2 and kind of went, I don't know, I guess this fucking guy. And it completely jacked up the plot line. I didn't even know about this until recently. Do you know why nobody fucking understands the plot of Final Fantasy VII?
Because it literally makes no sense.
Because Zack was an afterthought.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
It was supposed to be Sephiroth.
Oh, yeah, no, that'd be better.
And they were like, I don't know if we want to do that with Sephiroth. I kind of want to keep him separate. But they had all this plot stuff that kind of... So, like, with Crazy Glue and Spirit Gum, did they weld this plot back together?
And, well, you can see through the cracks.
The materia system is either underwhelming, grindy, not as bad as 8, or overpowered. Like, there's 3 gears.
You go through you start in the first gear, you hit second, and then you're in second for a long time, then you get to third gear, and then you win the game.
This is my Ocarina of Time.
This is the game that everyone loves that you hate?
Oh, I don't hate it. I just don't think it's as good as you think it is. It does not hold up today the way other games in the series do. And I will
I would say that's fair. I would say
yeah, sure, certainly. And I would include 8 in that. I would say 8 holds up better than 7 does, compared to where it was originally anyway. Because, I mean, it was just a solid game. You know, yeah, obviously I'm going to say that about 6 and other games I really like, but okay, we'll take 8, which is a game I'm not fond of. But it's not... It aged a hell of a lot better than 7 did. And were it not so amazing at the time, I don't think we would have been impressed with it as we were. But it was also when the internet caught fire, and it was accessible to more people. So not only was it popular, but you could tell your weird friends on the internet that you liked it, and they would go, I like it too. And suddenly 10,000 Angel Fire and GeoCities pages in the same web ring with the same background gif of Sephiroth emerging from the flames with one winged angel blaring in the background emerge.
Would you like to share more of your thoughts and feelings on this subject, or would you like to move on?
I could go in depth, but we're already at 20 minutes, so please, let's move on.
Okay.
The rest of these go a lot quicker, I swear.
Also...
Yeah, your bets.
Nailed it!
Yeah, that's good.
I've known you long enough that I just know those are your opinions. Favorite main protagonist?
Protagonist. And I'm going to say that's the main character of the game. Or in the case of Final Fantasy VI, Terra or Celeste.
What about your good pal Locke?
He's not the main character. I'm going to say... I guess Cecil.
From?
Final Fantasy IV. I think he's got a really good arc.
That's absolutely
I think
fair.
you go on that journey with him really well. I think he's maybe not super relatable, but he's a good character.
All right, then. Favorite... I think we've spoiled this one for the listener. Favorite antagonist?
Adele from Final Fantasy VIII. That gender fluid sorceress man girl gets me going.
Don't lie to the listener. We don't lie.
It's Kefka. You guys have seen my videos. It's Kefka. He's on my arm. It's Kefka.
We don't lie to the listener.
Favorite
Except
protagonist.
when we lie to the listener.
Favorite protagonist, Kefka.
Favorite... here's Locke's question. Favorite side protagonist?
Definitely not Locke. Kain, also from Final Fantasy IV. He's the more relatable of the two. But Kain... I gotta give him at least half nostalgia points here. It started my love affair with the trope. The Lancer. The buddy.
Fair enough, fair enough. Favorite NPC?
This is a weird one.
You could just cop out and say Sid.
No, it's not. Because my favorite Sid is a player character. He's a side protagonist. But, Gilgamesh. I think Gilgamesh.
That's fair.
Gilgamesh is awesome.
Gilgamesh is awesome. Ooh, I think we may have spoiled this one for the listener also.
I told you these were going to go quicker.
Overall, favorite character?
Totally Kefka. 110%. He's fun. And he has lasers.
Best looking male?
Kuja by a landslide.
Best looking female?
Kuja by a landslide. I kid. Here's the thing. I don't like flying my freak flag too hard, too often, at least not on the podcast. But if y'all follow me on Twitter, you know I'm awful anyway. I wanted to say anything but Freya, because come on, furry trash, you've got so many people to pick from that aren't Freya, and I guess kind of Yuffie, but she's underage in the game, and I'm not gonna go there.
And you aren't anymore, so
yeah, I'm not like I was when the game came out. So yeah, I'll stick with the rat lady.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Ooh, I think I may have spoiled this one for the listener. Character you hate the most.
That's a complicated question.
Really? It's not Locke by Lancelot?
No, it's not, because Locke is my least favorite character in Final Fantasy VI. But, that's like saying Attack of the Clones is my least favorite Star Wars movie.
It's still a Star Wars movie?
Yeah, it's still got a lot going for it. Dude, the guy's got a great theme. He's got an amazing look. He's got, if it weren't for some weird shit that nobody in the game seems to care about or address ever, he'd be a perfectly fine, dashing, lovable rogue. He'd be like Zidane. I love Zidane. I think he's awesome.
Fair enough. So, which character do you hate the most?
So that's tough, because it's a tough, Tidus comes to mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Tidus is so innately hateable that it makes people hate Vaughn.
Because he looks like Meg Ryan?
Because he kind of looks like Tidus, except that Tidus is supposed to be a grown man, and Vaughn is like 16. So it makes sense that he's effeminate and waifish. And also because while Tidus says, "This is my story," sorry. I'm Laura. I just moved to the city. Oh, God. Oh.
Move on.
Because Balthier keeps calling himself the leading man, that joke being used to better application.
As a joke, not as that character's actual character motivation. Look, I don't know much about Final Fantasy, but I got a lot of opinions about 10.
Yeah, and there were jokes in that game, but that wasn't one of them. I will even accept the explanation that the bad laughing thing was a joke. You just didn't shoot it well. But
I always got that. Like, it's a terrible audio file to listen to, because it's just annoying, but I always got that was the intent.
Even if it was, I don't
care. It was awful.
Yeah.
That's fair.
This scene isn't... What are we doing here? But moving on slightly, honestly, I don't like Adele. I don't understand her presence in the game. And I'm sorry if I'm getting that name wrong. This is off of memory. Not Edea, not Ultimecia. I'm pretty sure the one who talked in Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
What a fucking weird character. Out of fucking nowhere for no reason.
That's fair. And
it was treated really important, and I'm like, what the fuck?
The plot of 8 makes no sense, near as I can tell. It's garbage.
It's not a great plot.
Alright. Which game...
But probably Tidus.
But probably Tidus.
He had one good thing going for him. That was his badass water sword. The end.
He had a badass water sword. And he was a good blitzball player. Good blitzball player.
But he wasn't
my mouth today.
He wasn't the real hero of the story, Jet. My goal in life's to fucking kill Tidus.
Woo, I like this guy. Look, can I switch sides? I want to play as this guy. All right. Which game had the best cast of characters?
Yeah, 6.
There you go. Which game was the saddest?
4? 4.
Really?
Yeah, everything is awful repeatedly in 4. If I can, spoiler-free version, everything starts out you have no friends and you have to be a Nazi. And then you accidentally burn down an entire village.
And then it gets worse, TM?
And then it gets worse, and then it gets worse, and then it gets worse, and then maybe it's worse, and then it gets worse, and then it gets worse.
Okay, all right.
Dead children and weepy, tragic sacrifices, and it's not good, man.
So, good afternoon fare.
Yeah, it's a fun tale.
All right, well, I shudder to think of the answer to this question at this point. Which game was the funniest?
This is the part where I go, oh, Final Fantasy IV, dead children, weepy old men. This is a weird question. There were a lot of questions on this original survey that were like, which is the funniest character and the funniest this and that. This game wasn't like this series isn't super humorous.
They're funny, but there's not the funniest game.
And there's funny moments. Like I'll even give 10 this when Kimari tries to smile or when Tidus makes a Macarena reference. Topical nowadays. Like the Final Fantasy V Game Boy Advance remake had a bunch of pop culture references, and they were so weird to see in a Final Fantasy that was funny. Brave Exvius is actually pretty hilarious. Like the actual storyline of it, the characters crack a lot of funny jokes, plays on words and stuff. Yeah, I would say
fair.
One of those two.
Which game had the best love story?
This is one of those things that gets me. Because most people are going to answer 7 or 8 or are you drinking because it hurts? Because listening to me talk hurts.
It's water.
You drink to kill the pain. That's straight vodka, man. I can smell it from here.
It's not a video podcast. Joke doesn't make any sense.
Or 10, or, 9's not bad. 9's actually a pretty good love story. I'll say 9's a really good falling in love story. 4 is a way better already in love story. You start out the game with a girlfriend. You go get that girlfriend something to cure a sickness she gets, like later in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Then you and your girlfriend hang out and have a good time. Spoiler alert, at the end of the game, you guys get married. Throughout the whole thing, there's a couple times you got to rescue the damsel in distress, but she's always got your back. She's always there in fights. She's capable. And it's a good love story. Like, they are mature love,
Yeah.
It's not fucked up and weird. So, either 9 or 4. The other ones, those are horrible. Horrible love stories. Awful, just awful.
About as bad as Romeo and Juliet.
At least.
Yeah. All right. Well, in a related question, which couple do you think is the most likely to break up sometime after the credits roll?
Spoilers. Freya and Sir Fratley.
You think so?
I think so. I think she's not going to be able to deal with that shit.
Well, I have no context for any of the words in that previous sentence, so I'm just going to move right along.
I'll give you the short version for the sake of the podcast. The entire reason she's out adventuring and starts hanging out with Zanon and company is because her lover went missing.
Okay.
She's 110% sure he's still alive.
But
everyone's like, no, he's dead. You should probably get over it. So he does eventually come back. He has no memory. Post-game cutscene. It's not getting any better.
I see.
Well, and she's like, Well, we played through 9 as a D&D game, and I cut a lot of shit out. But it was still like, there were some gut punch fucking moments.
Yeah, there were.
This is not a happiness and fun game, all things considered.
Which game would you most like to live through as the protagonist?
It's weird, because I'm going to say 4 again. Because, at the end of 4...
Wait, the one with the dead children and the sacrifice babies.
Right,
and you have to be a Nazi? This is the through line you'd like to follow.
Like, okay, but at least I get redemption, right? My ghost dad from Beyond Space and Time, he's like, I love you, not ghost son. And I'm like, cool, and he's like, here's a great hat.
Okay, but okay, all things considered...
All right, but, okay, here's the thing, okay?
As the protagonist of, let's say, Final Fantasy, I don't know, let's go 9.
Okay.
You would rather be a Nazi
The
than the
Nazi thing's
Saiyan boy.
really brief, and they're not necessarily Nazis. They're just a war.
They're just
city.
bad. They're just
They're
the
just
bad.
gonna come
They're
take
the baddies.
Yeah, there's the baddies. I mean, Nazi might be a bit far, but like, there's a lot of shit to deal with in all of those games. There is, but at the end of the game, to look at the main character of those games and be like, okay, now what do you have to deal with?
Most of his shit is handled.
Dude, Cecil is fucking king. He wins.
Okay, well, fair enough.
He's married. His
So
friends are fine that are still alive.
So you'd rather have a hard road to hoe, but be fine in the end, than go on like a fun adventure where you end up a little fucked.
Yeah, because, I mean, I love 6, but, okay, well, the apocalypse is over. But now we don't have any magic to fix anything with, so this is going to be rough.
Fair.
Fucking 7, who goddamn knows what's going on?
Not you, certainly, as the protagonist.
No,
not you.
I don't know. I am just but a speck in time. Fucking 8.
Let's move on.
And 9 is, well, I mean, I got the girl, but I'm going to die really soon, and so will my best friend. Oh wait, never mind, already dead.
For kids.
And the rest of them, fuck it. I mean, I don't, play them that much. I guess 1 was okay, but I don't really want to do the plot of that. It's just kind of boring. It's just boring and dangerous.
So it's just like being one of those guys who clears landmine fields?
Yeah, like, ooh, this is my job. It's tedious, and I might die.
Fair enough. Which game would you sooner die before doing the above?
Oh.
Is there any game on this list where you go, all right, your choices are like cake or death, you can be a dead guy, you can die, or you can go do this asshole story, and you're going to pick, nah, I'm out, bro. Go ahead.
Probably 7, man.
Really?
7 or maybe 8, but probably 7.
Fair enough. You just really don't want to be Cloud.
Man, that guy is not...
He's
not okay.
He's not in good shape.
He's not in good
He's
shape.
been through some shit.
At the start of that game, he's not in good shape, okay?
Nope. All right. Which specific location in a game would you most like to live?
I would like to live in Trino from Final Fantasy IX. Or Final Fantasy IX in general. But, like, specifically, I'd hang out in Trino most of the time, then go to Deguero if I wanted books.
Well, there we go.
Trino is an eternal city of night, and there's an auction house and a casino. And...
Sold.
Yeah,
sold,
right, it's awesome.
Sold. I want to live there, too. My answer's his answer. What is your favorite job class? Or job/class? I assume those are different things.
Not necessarily, but somebody might get real pedantic about it. Probably Lancer, if you get down to it. I like Blue Mage too, but probably Dragoon.
Black Mage, woohoo!
Yeah.
Blowing shit up is real fun as Black Mage.
I like blowing shit up, but I love when the Blue Mages are good. The monster abilities that you get are so fucking cool. Sometimes they're really bad, like Final Fantasy VII and even 8 to a lesser extent. Those Blue Mage powers blue. I didn't mean to make that pun, but here we are.
Let's see here. What is your favorite ability? Hey.
Hey, yeah, you know what? I'll say that. My favorite job is Dragoon, but my favorite ability is Blue Magic. Or Lore, if you want to go the Final Fantasy VI route.
There we go. What is your favorite limit break or ultimate style ability?
I've actually been kind of sitting here trying to figure that one out to say anything other than Irvine's from Final Fantasy VIII. But no, like the entire game, I kept that dude at like 12 HP just so I could get into the fucking game and blast a motherfucker at the speed of sound, bullet after bullet after bullet from my shotgun. It was the best. It was just the best.
This is horseshit.
I mean, I liked Vincent's from Final Fantasy VII. Those were cool. And I liked all the limit breaks in 6 because they were so hidden. But no, Irvine's was the most fucking fun.
Favorite spell?
Favorite spell, if I can pick enemy spells, Goner. Or Forsaken, I think is called in the remix from Kefka Does It. If I can't, like X Zone or Grand Train.
Is that you summon the Ghost Train?
No, Ghost Train's a great summon. Ghost Train's amazing. But Grand Train is, or maybe it's Grand Delta in the remakes. It's I'll show you a video, but it's this cool like triangle full of stars and then another crazy triangle, and they're like, whoa! It's badass. But Forsaken is way better than that.
Fair enough. Favorite boss fight?
No, I don't think I can say anything other than the last 4 fights before Kefka. Kefka's cool, but the little tower.
The tower.
The tower's fucking incredible. There's like really deep lore shit worked into the imagery of the fucking tower and the moves they do. Like, fuck you. That took a lot of effort to build. And the music's amazing, and it's actually difficult up to a certain point.
Favorite non-boss enemy?
I like them all. I mean...
So we're just going to go Cactar and move on?
You know, actually Cactar, probably, because I like Moogles. I do. I love them a lot. But, I guess they're more of a mascot. But,
yeah.
Tonberries are good, too. I don't know. I like the Cactar.
I like Snozzberries, personally.
It's hard to decide.
Alright, fair enough. Favorite summon?
I've got a couple.
Okay.
Typhon has a place in my heart, or I think he's still called Chupon in 7. I don't remember. Mostly because I was really excited to see a Final Fantasy VI character.
In 7.
In 7. Grand Train, or the Death Train, or Doom Train, whatever the fuck it's called.
You summon the Ghost Train and kill someone with it.
Doom Train's awesome.
Yojimbo?
I don't think you got to pay him, but I think he looks awesome. I really like his look. I like summoning Gilgamesh in the 6 remix. But I also really fucking like Cuchulainn and Zalera from 12. Because they're just, like, visually fucking incredible. And that's what a summon is. It's this visual spectacle that you're like, yeah. They're just, I mean, it's awesome stuff. Like, in the traditional sense of awesome. I am in awe.
Least favorite battle or boss fight?
That's difficult. To the point that I probably should have cut it out. Anything unfair. And I don't mean like a battle you're supposed to lose. But I mean like those optional bosses that are just so fucking broken that even if you're level 99 and have all the shit, you also have to get lucky.
That's fair.
I'd say most of the time I don't run into that in the main series games. Like, you gotta go looking for that shit. But I run into it in Brave Exvius a lot.
What do you think makes a game a quintessential Final Fantasy game?
We've been over this a lot, and I've actually wanted to do a podcast about it, so here's an opportunity in brief. Quintessential job class system, although not necessarily rotated. Just so long as the characters adhere to those ideas. You're going to want a Dragoon and an Engineer and a, Paladin, what have you.
White Mage, Blue Mage, Black Mage.
Yeah.
Red Mage.
Green Mage.
Purple Mage.
No Purple Mage.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. The traditional spells, Fire, Ice, and Lightning, the Agas, Cure, all that shit. The magic needs to be pretty much the same. I'm not real hard on the it has to be fantasy or it has to be sci-fi, but I don't know. There's this quintessential, and this is why, as much as I'm looking forward to 15, I don't know how good it's going to be or how many of those notes it's going to hit. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a good game that uses Final Fantasy elements. I don't know if it'll be a Final Fantasy game. If you want to be a Final Fantasy game, you have to have Sakaguchi. You should probably have a Mono, and you need Uematsu.
That's fair. That's a fair answer.
Yeah.
You need Uematsu.
He's like, and that's the fucking thing too. When I played fucking, I can't. Last Odyssey, Lost. Oh, no,
Lost
not
Odyssey.
even Lost Odyssey. It was the other one.
The Last Story.
Yeah, the last story.
Which is just, I'm going to make a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah. Amano, do you want to help? No. Fine, do it without you. It sounds like Final Fantasy, and it's got a completely different fucking battle system, and it's got nothing that's, statistically speaking, Final Fantasy.
You hear the music and you go, there we are, we're slipped into gear.
You hear the music, you see the tropes, you read the dialogue, it's Final Fantasy.
There we go. What doesn't belong in a Final Fantasy game? Can I take a stab at this one?
Sure.
Junctioning magic from fucking cards.
I was gonna say like a penis, and then I started to think, no, I could work that in. So,
let's see here.
I think if you were creative enough, you could work anything in, but
junctioning magic from fucking cards.
They could have made it work. They just chose
they
not
didn't.
To. They did not.
What character has the best character design?
Go.
Surprising you did not pick Kefka.
Kefka's got great character design, but Kefka took all of his best fashion ideas from Go.
Well, there we go.
Just become the rug king.
Worst character design?
Something that what's his nuts drew.
Artfully hurtful.
Yeah, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
That's part of the artfully hurtful instead of just hurtful. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that burn.
They're not awful character designs, and you know what? Fucking Adele.
Just, man.
I don't fucking know what's going on there, and it makes me mad. And it's not like, what gender is it? Because fuck you, I love Kuja. That's a dude in a thong. That guy was Lady Gaga before Lady Gaga was Lady Gaga. Fucking what the fuck is Adele? It's not Adele before Adele was Adele. I don't want to hear that monster sing.
What is your favorite weapon?
Save the Queen. It's a really badass looking sword for those of you who don't.
There we go. Which game had the best opening cutscene?
This is not a visual medium.
That was just for me.
That was just for you. Honestly, I think maybe Final Fantasy VIII. As awful as it was, like, I love 6's opening, but it's... 6 is really good.
There we go.
4 drops you right into it, and that's not great. 3's a little... 1 doesn't have one. It's, you got your fucking characters, go. Fucking go.
Be the Final Fantasy. Do it.
9's it's too ostentatious. Fuck 10. This
Agreed.
is my story.
Reblog if you agree. Reblog, I agree.
And 12 almost turned me off the fucking game. 8's is good, man. 7's is nothing. 7's is a fucking zoom out, zoom in on nothing. Alright? That's a fucking setting space. Fuck you, that's almost as bad of an opening as it is an ending.
Fair. Speaking of, which game had the best ending?
6. It gave me closure. 4 had a good one, but it just wasn't quite as good as 6.
Best soundtrack?
6. Again, 4 is close, but...
Favorite overworld song?
It says favorite.
Favorite.
World of Ruin before you get the airship. Because it sounds like Gangsta's Paradise.
And because truly, in the World of Ruin is a gangsta's paradise.
It is. You haven't even played that game, and you speak in truth, my man.
Favorite song?
It's got to be Dancing Mad, doesn't it?
I think you're contractually obligated for it to be Dancing Mad.
It's just really too... There's a lot of good songs. I could have a podcast about all my favorite Final Fantasy songs via Aya Flamenco and fucking the song that plays when you're Laguna and fighting things. That fucking awesome disco jamboree.
And of course, Rapharoth.
It is good music, dude. It's Vincent's theme's amazing. 7 had a really good soundtrack too.
But Dancing Mad.
Like Dancing Mad. Fucking
shit, I would say Dancing Mad.
It's 20 minutes of just like the best. The fucking best.
It goes hard the whole time.
Yeah, man. And it never lets up. And you're like, I am fighting scary clown Jesus. And I don't know if I'm good with that. I don't know if I'm good with that. Here is scary clown Jesus cradling baby scary clown Jesus. What the fuck is going on?
I think that wraps us up.
Yeah, that's good. This is a nice long podcast. Unless you don't care about Final Fantasy, we'll be back next week with wrestling.
Everything's better when nerds talk about it.